conglomerates in industrials are very out of fashion at the moment. We're seeing a lot of them break up. So why do a deal to increase so substantially?
I think you got to be very, very clear. This is not about recreating a conglomerate. We've spent a lot of time actually deconstructing the United Technologies that we had a few years ago. This is about creating a focused A&D company with outstanding technology.
And just comment on this, Tom, because if that's the case, if these two companies are similar and it's going to be a sort of pure play, then shouldn't the regulators be concerned about overlap?
No, they shouldn't be. In fact, there's less than 1% overlap in our businesses, and we don't compete with UTX at all across any of our major product areas. So this is a synergistic combination, and it's not a competitive issue at hand.
And talk to me a little bit about the connected plane, because that's obviously a big part of this, right? So sort of, I guess, nose to tail concept. How is the combined company going to be best positioned to serve that market?
Well, I think the combined technologies of both of the companies come to bear against a major, I would call it, technological challenge at times of integrating an entire airplane together, integrating the ground systems together, and integrating the communications between those. And one of the things that Raytheon brings to the table is the area of cybersecurity in terms of helping UTX be able to provide that solution to their customers.
I think it actually benefits the entire aero ecosystem. In fact, if you think about it, with Raytheon radars and the air traffic control system, with our Rockwell Collins GPS system for assured positioning in aircraft, and this is more about just the connected aircraft. This is about the connected, I would say, aerospace ecosystem. From the time you book your ticket through the flight and through departure, it's about controlling the information in a secure fashion to make flying safer.
So I want to talk about the Rockwell deals. You did the Rockwell deal a couple of years ago, the largest deal at the time in the aerospace. Yep. Today announced Raytheon, now the new largest deal. What is it about this environment that's so conducive to these sort of mega mergers?
Well, look, timing in life is everything, right? I think as we thought about technology, as we thought about the next steps for our UTC aerospace business, I couldn't imagine a better partner to merge with than Raytheon. And when Tom called me last summer, we were a little busy. We were trying to split the company. We were trying to close Rockwell. But the merits of bringing these two technologies together was so clear. There was never a question for myself or our board that this was the right thing to do.
And obviously one of the big customers for you guys is Department of Defense. What are you going to have to do in terms of convincing government and indeed President Trump that this is the right deal and a good deal for America?
Well, look, I think there would be 3 points that I would make to the administration. One is, this is good for America. It's good for defense because we're going to bring unparalleled technology. We're also going to save the government money, right? We've got $1 billion of synergies. Half of that goes back to the DoD through cost reduction on contracts. It's $500 million a year, every single year. And third, we're going to create a ton of jobs. 20,000 jobs a year between Raytheon and United Technologies Aerospace. Unprecedented job creation in high value, high technology spaces.
Have you spoken to them already, the government, ahead of this?
We've obviously had some conversations, and I look forward to having some more conversations later today. I think we'll have an opportunity to explain to everyone why this merger makes so much sense and how it's going to increase competition, not hurt competition.
And Tom, talk to me about the headquarters being in Boston, because obviously that's where Raytheon is based. What does that mean from a tax perspective for the combined company?
Well, the tax perspective will remain the same as we did with the separated companies. We don't see a major area there. What we do see is our ability to leverage the technology that resides within the Boston area in terms of the engineering folks and scientists that we can hire and bring into the company. We'll be hiring combined over 20,000 people a year with this a new company, and we need as much talent as we possibly get. Boston is one area that we can grab onto that talent. And one other element I'd like to bring to bear too is that the Department of Defense is going through a major modernization of all of their systems. What this does is it allows us to tap into the technology that UTC had in the commercial side and join that with our, I would call it, defense-related technologies in a way that we can deliver better solutions to the Department of Defense in a way that we couldn't do before.
And just let's wrap on this, Greg. We're in this environment where we're seeing a lot of, as well as antitrust, we're seeing a lot of sort of national security concerns coming in, a lot of sort of posturing around sovereign issues when it comes to letting big deals through. Are there any concerns that you would see pressure from Europe or China in regards to this deal?
So fortunately, we don't need to get Chinese approval to do this deal. There are 10 countries. The Rockwell deal had 17 countries, including China. Because there is such a small overlap here, and because the divestitures are going to be so small, we don't see any competition issues as it relates to whether it's the EU, or the US, or any of the other countries that we compete in. The fact is, we're going to create a company that can compete internationally on a level playing field with all of these countries.
And just talking about a competitor, obviously Boeing is a significant one, also a customer. I was going to say, does both. What are you seeing from them? They obviously have their own issues at the moment. Has that changed at all, the relationship between you, a supplier, and them, a customer?
No, look, Boeing's been a great customer for us. We support them on a lot of different programs. We've got a lot of content on all of their commercial aircraft and on their military aircraft. So Boeing's a platform company. We are not a platform company. In fact, our whole goal is to be platform agnostic going forward, such that we can service any aircraft out there with our equipment and make it better and more efficient.
So we don't build airplanes, we don't build ships, but we put the electronics on them to make them the best ships and the best airplanes in the world.
Okay, so it's obviously a deal that has a lot of synergies. We've talked about that. But the number you put out this morning, $1 billion, it seems relatively low for a merger of this size. So is there room to go there? Well,
first of all, that's a cost synergy, and it's a $1 billion gross annual synergy. It'll start occurring about 4 years into after the merger is complete. And then of that $1 billion, about half of that will go back to our DoD customers. So they'll see about a $500 million savings year over year past the 4-year point. So it's a great deal for our defense customers. Again, that is just the cost synergies. There are significant revenue synergies, and we're working through those, but we believe that this overall deal can provide not just cost synergies, but additional upside revenue synergies.
Can you give us any guidance as to what that number would be?
Not the guidance, but I can give you ideas in terms of our ability to, for example, leveraging our cybersecurity work into the commercial side, increasing revenues by bringing that into the marketplace in a way that we couldn't do before. And there's a lot of other areas just like that.
Tom, talk about the $5 billion deal we just did on AirInc with your company to provide air traffic control connectivity.
Yes, right now we're, for example, in one case we're working with the FAA to provide a new solution for them in communicating across all their entities and providing autonomy. And one of the key pieces of that is a partner, a complementary partner that comes under the UTX umbrella called AirInc. And so here's a clear way that we would not be able to go to market in the way we're going if we didn't have AirInc as part of the deal. And this will just allow us to put more investment. Just real quick on the investment, there will be $8 billion of research and development funding available for us to take the technologies we have and drive them to the next level. And you asked about timing before. The reason this timing is so important is that technology is not changing linearly, it's changing exponentially.
We've got to leave it there.